Alistair, you clearly have a pedigree in this club, but what are your earliest memories of East Renfrewshire?
Well, I can remember joining when I was 10 or 11, about 18 years ago, with two of my friends who I went to school with and played rugby with. And then that group of us just grew every year. And before you know it, there's 10 or 15 of us here every day through the school holidays. And we're all getting better every year. And then playing in different competitions across the county and even Scotland. And you can see just everyone as a group getting better and just really enjoying golf at East Ren, just with a nice group of people.
So I think a lot of people believe that you have a talent and you're born good at golf, but you're a high handicapper to begin with. What encouraged you to keep lowering your handicap?
I think when the people around you you're playing with, your peers, are getting better, and I remember there being some summers where somebody would cut their handicap by 10 shots and you're still the high one, and then the next year that spurs you on to, I know I'm as good as him, so that can then spur you on to really concentrating and trying to get your handicap down, which ultimately gets you into the bigger tournaments as a junior when your handicap comes down. And
you first had success here at under 15 level. What happened?
So there was the under 15 championship played here, which I think still is today. I lost twice in the final, and then on my third attempt I managed to win the final of the under 15s.
So now you've got junior weeks going on here, you've got the junior championship which you won.
Yep, won that, I think it was 2011.
Now it's the big league as such, the Brand Putter League. So tell me what your early experiences of that.
Yeah, so I remember first getting a phone call or a text message, whatever, to play for the Brand Putter team, which was a bit of a privilege. The top 8 players in the club plus a reserve would play each game, and I was asked to be reserve away to Hags Castle, and somebody didn't turn up, so I was then put straight into the team. I think I was playing off about 7 or 8 at the time, and they would try and get a junior in to play reserve just for experience, and I was playing against somebody off +2 and I got absolutely hammered. And then the whole experience was quite nervy, and then the dinner afterwards you put a jacket and tie on, and each team sits on a different side of the table and each team toasts to each other. So the captain of Hags was toasting to the East Ren players, and everyone across the table stood up. So me being nervous and not really knowing what to do, I also stood up. Whilst none of my teammates stood up, and then I got a wee tug on the arm to bring me back down as I'd stood up for the wrong team.
These things are very nerve-wracking, aren't they, especially as a junior?
Oh yeah.
As such, okay, so you graduate through that. You then get the chance to play in the senior championship here. How did that go?
Yeah, so after I finished school, I went to America. So I would be away from August through to May, basically. And so the club championship here was played September or August, September, so I could never play in it. But then once I graduated and I moved back home, basically, I was able to try and qualify and play in the Gents Cup Championship. So managed to win that in both 2017 and 2018. And 2018, my sister happened to win the ladies as well, so that was quite a nice year.
A double whammy for the Kyle family.
Yes.
And really that was the last chance before you turned professional.
Yep, so just after the club championship, I was turning professional whilst working at Turnberry, starting the PGA training programme.
So tell me a bit more about that American scholarship. How did that come about?
There was quite a lot of, it was becoming more popular. There was scholarship agencies set up in Scotland, ProDream being the main one, which is who I went through. And they go about different junior tournaments and just try and raise awareness of, you can go to America, and then you sign up with them and they create a profile for you and try and market you to American coaches of universities. And yeah, so I had a few different places I could have gone to the first year, but ended up going to California. Basically the best weather you could ever hope for. I think the first year I was there, it rained 4 times, and just played in unbelievable weather.
It would remind you of the 4 dry days at East End.
Yeah, it did, yeah. The great thing about going over there was I think my first year, there was 8 of us in a team playing for 5 spots, or 8 in the squad playing for 5 spots on the team. And everyone was from all over the world. There was French guys, German guys, a few Americans, English, Scottish, Welsh. And everyone's got their own ideas and of how the game should be played. They've all got their own coaches that think that's the way you should play. And initially I took on too much information on board and found it hard to focus on actually just playing golf. But then after a couple of years of realising like that might work for him, but it's not going to work for me. So you start to realise what works for you, and if you can stick with that, then it's going to give you a better chance of playing better golf, just focusing on what works for you, not for somebody
else. And you had success in your last tournament in the States.
Yeah, so it was the big conference championship for all the teams kind of in the Midwest region of America, and I was 7 shots off the leader with 1 round to go, and I managed to shoot 5 under par and pipped him by 1 shot. And that was my last round in the States.
What a way to go!
Before returning, yeah.
That must have been a fantastic finale for you.
It was great, yeah. Yeah, no, it was the one that everyone wants to win. Quite good publicity off of that as well. A few interviews and everything, just like this. So well prepared.
Now, 2018, a very special year. Of course, you win the club championship for a 2nd time. You're about to turn pro, but you had an 18-on-18 success rate in your events that you played, at least the match play that you played. Tell me about that. What was the composition of that 18 win?
So there was the Gents Club Championship, which I think is 4 games, and then there was the Renfrewshire Champion of Champions, which was 4 games. And then it was through the Brand Putter season you play 10 games, and I managed to win 10 games from 10. So that was 18 match play games won in 2018.
You must have felt invincible by the end of that year.
Yeah, I know. And then in the pro game you don't really play match play, so I've gone out on a high in match play.
Now, and what about that pro career? Because you're now based at Turnberry, one of the great golf centres of the world. What's the experience been like being a pro?
It's been a fantastic experience so far. There's 9 pros at Turnberry, so there's always people better than you in terms of experience of coaching and just in the golf industry, so there's always people to learn from right next to you day to day. But quite quickly there's younger people coming through underneath me as well. But the great thing about Turnberry, the thing that I enjoy the most is the people that you get to meet from all over the world. People are there for their one chance to play at Turnberry. But it's a great place to call home. I've been there nearly 6 years now, so I don't really have any plans to leave anytime soon. It'll have to be something very, very exciting to take me away from there, I think. But no, it's been a great place for me to develop as a coach, and they still allow or give me plenty of time off to be able to go and play tournaments. So no, very lucky to be at Turnberry.
Alistair, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.